Welcome back. You remember that apology that I gave in the other video about the herp derp that newbies tend to do that I know I'm going to do? Well, I give that apology times 5 for this one because this was my first time in here with a tune, and at first I was going to do the safe thing and go with the tune that I always play. Not by choice, it's because that's the one that they give you. But then I saw her, you know, the little hunter dude, dwarf guy, and she reminds me of Ash. And I'm thinking, why not? This should give me, a familiar setting. Look at those thighs. How can you go wrong with those thighs? Look at that bow. She looks hot.
I'm taut. I'm ready to fly.
And she sounds hot. Okay. That voice is gonna be distracting me like a mother. Okay, I'm only half paying attention to these things. Forward. Listen to her. Forward.
So be it.
So be it. Come on, let's go. Oh yeah, this is the one that has WASD. I almost left out without my courier. So busy thinking about her voice. See? Now I know how men get so easily distracted. I am often told, I think like a man but act like a lady. I was so into her voice and them thighs. Okay. Alright. Let's concentrate. Let's get the beginning items here.
My sentiments as well.
My sentiments as well. Listen to her. Okay, we're gonna do this. And I guess my minions have already spawned and they're doing their thing. Look at the map. They're doing their thing. So okay. The objective, you should, pay attention to these things, is to destroy both enemy mid lane towers. Good enough. So yeah, they're going to battle here. And okay, this isn't bad. Oh, big guy. Very big guy.
Into the fray.
I'm sorry, I'm listening to her. Okay. This is distracting. This is just as bad as in Firefall with that ass cheek hanging out. Okay. Oh my god, listen to this voice. Is there a tune in League of Legends that has a voice like this? Okay. Anyway.
Way ahead of you.
What is up with this? He's doing it here too? I should be able to exploit this. Okay, somebody asked me, well, why do you have this interest all of a sudden in MOBAs? Now, I love to watch them, but there was ow, that hurt. It smacked my ass. Yeah, I have always had an interest in them, but the community did not seem very embracing of new players. Matter of fact, it was like
quiver.
It very toxic, very there was a kid that raged, and I saw him rage, and he was actually wishing cancer on people. And just like he could not, bad sportsmanship. Now, to give the kid credit, he was streaming, and he had a lot of people watching him. And in those cases, if you have 15,000 people watching you and 1% of them is trolling you, that's a lot of people on your back. I totally get that. But if I had been on his team, and let's be clear, the odds of me ever being on his team, I would think is like zero because he's like a pro player. But in the event he, decided to make
Feel the
a
vital
new
force.
tune and had to go back up through that ladder, and I ended up on, his team, and he wished cancer on me, I'd forget that he was a kid and want to whoop his ass. Okay? So, um,
That was
I
it.
said, no, this is. Ooh, ooh, did you hear that? Now,
Yes.
see, this is how my mind works. I'm gonna have to get her health low again so I can hear that moan. I was talking, I didn't hear it. Damn it. So anyway, I and most likely, when I see things that are going to bring out a negative response from me, not wanting to be that
I
person,
go and see.
I just sort of leave it alone. So I started playing Eve instead, but I never gave up my desire of wanting to play.
Arrow, fly.
But I just decided I'll watch. So I would watch the lull streams
Arrow, fly.
and the different, streamers, and sometimes watch the tournaments to get an idea about the game and try to learn about the game. And I know that you can't necessarily learn through viewing. You got to get in there, jump in there, and do. But that's one of the reasons why I never got in the game. But with Eve,
My bow is
into
drawn.
MOBAs. Now with Eve, I'm finding myself in a very transitional
Agreed.
point in my career in that game where I now that I have some
Silence.
experience under my belt, I don't feel so squishy is in for lack of another word. Now that doesn't mean
Quiver.
because I have skill points that I'm indestructible. That's not by any means the case. What I'm saying is that if I were to go up against somebody with a
Arrow, fly.
frigate, with PvP, I do have some level 5 skills,
Way ahead of
to
you.
help protect myself. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So
Arrow,
I
find
don't
it.
feel so fragile. Oh my god.
Can't this be?
Did you hear that? She was like, "Oh. Oh my god. I died." Okay. This is going to be a long video. So, I think what I might do is fast forward this because I haven't taken this tower out
How
yet.
came I
So,
here?
yeah, we might fast forward. Okay, yes, I am fast forwarding this part because this does take a long time. It's like a 20-minute game because I'm herp derping around because I'm distracted and I was talking while I was trying to play this. Let me be very clear. 8 minutes in here, I still have no idea what these what her spells are, what her abilities are. I'm hardly ever using them, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I don't really have to. It is what it is because of this tutorial. So I'm not very pleased with this tutorial anymore. I used to be, and I like the idea of it, but I think that it needs to be a little bit harder. I think that new players will, if I hadn't played LOL, just played this, and I want to give credit where credit is due. I haven't finished this tutorial yet, but if the next part after this is a regular game and I don't get my booty smacked, then playing up against real bots or real people is going to be like a face smash. It's like, "Oh my god," kind of thing. Um and I think that might be frustrating. So I think that they should have ramped this up just a little bit so that it's closer to being realistic. Now, back to what I was saying. One of the reasons why I'm into these MOBAs is because I'm in a very transitional point in Eve where now that I have some skills, I feel more bolder. Let me be very clear. I don't mind fighting. I don't like ganking. I don't get any enjoyment out of picking on somebody that can't fight back. I even when I leveled on PvP servers and other games, I don't gank. The only exception to that is if somebody ganked me because they were a higher level and then I turned around and out leveled them and then I ganked them, but that's more revenge than than ganking. But I just don't get pleasure in that, and I don't get pleasure in like being a pirate or anything like that. That's just not my thing. Um, but I do want a PvP, and I do want to go up against equally skilled players, which is what these MOBAs and strategy games try to do. They try to pair you with people so that it's a good, clean, fair fight. And that's what I like. I like that challenge. To me, ganking somebody is not a challenge. That is, for lack of another phrase, excuse the terminology, but it's a pussy move. In my culture, you'd be laughed at. For real. You going taking pride in ganking somebody, put somebody that they can't fight back. You'd be laughed at. Your typical black guy would laugh their ass off at you because they know you ain't shit. You either put up or shut up. So in my culture, I mean, it's just sort of, as a woman of color, it's just, it just goes against the grain with me. I don't do it. So anyway, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of, people of color, black people, whatever you want to call them, that gank. They do. I don't. But I do want that fair fight. I do want to find that person that's looking to go to battle, and it's skill versus sneakiness. I guess that's a good way to put it. So getting practice in here is getting me practice for that. And I know that sounds really funny, but the games that I play lately, they're more PvE orientated than PvP orientated, and these MOBAs are very cutthroat. You can go in there whining like a little bitch if you want to, but it's not going to go very well. So, nobody's really going to care. The community is it's not as toxic as it used to be, right? It's been working on that. But it's expected. You're going to lose. You're going to lose a lot until you learn. And that's what I want. I think it's perfect. And I don't have to burn up my ISK. I need to PvP, like I said, I don't like to go into foolish fights. One of the rules in EVE is to do not fly what you can't afford to lose. So before I start PvPing, I want a nice good stack of ISK so that and materials so that I can make my ships as I lose them. I just think that it's just wise to be prepared and caught it. Did you hear that? Okay. Oh man, I'm gonna get that tower down. So as far as Dota, I think I'm gonna end up playing them both. This tune is not the same as Ashe, although I really can't say because I haven't really paid attention to her. But just looking at her skills, there doesn't seem to be any range. She seems to be more like Vayne than Ashe with her area of effects Ashe has. This one is more single.
That was my thought.
Yeah, that was my thought. So, drinking water here. So, yeah, that's my thought on that. So, if it seems like I've come up with this all out the clear blue sky, it really hasn't been. I've always liked them. I've just been very quiet about watching them, but I do watch them often. Look at the champion just... Oh, there he goes. He's dead. Okay, sinking slowly into the ground. Another thing I gotta learn is maps. Yeah, whatever you're saying, honey. Yeah, I don't really care. Actually, I just want you to talk. I don't care what you're saying. That sounds almost like just put a bag over her head. Oh my god, that's horrible. I'm going straight to hell. Okay, this is over. And I will see you guys in the next one.